Well, look, I think a professional job. We wanted to start the game well, which we did. We had two really good opportunities in the first 5-10 minutes. So first 15-20 minutes I was very pleased with the performance. We looked dangerous. I thought Alex down the right was a real threat. If we take those chances, I'm not quite sure why the set play was disallowed, but I'd have to see that later. Then really good test for us, because when that opening goal doesn't come, you're playing against a packed defence. There's the atmosphere in the stadium that you've got to deal with, and they're all things I've experienced as an England player. And you've got to show some real courage to stay to the game plan, be patient, and wait for your opportunities. And if you keep the ball as well as we did and keep moving the opposition as we did, your goals generally come late. So added to that, it's important the impact of the substitutes, which we've got that strength from the bench. So I'm sure if I'd been following the game on social media, we'd have had a positive, then a load of whatever, and then at the end people are going, oh, okay. But 4-0 in a game like this, teams don't score many goals against them. They're resolute in what they do, they're organised in what they do. So I'm pleased that the players have had to feel a bit of what they've felt tonight and come through that well.
Gareth, I'm sure you heard the England supporters during the game and their feelings towards the performance. Does it affect your players when they hear it, when they're playing? Does it affect their concentration? And how important is it for England supporters to believe in what you're trying to do?
Well, look, I think we have to accept that. I go back to I've played in nights like this, and I've watched England on nights like this. And if you don't get a couple of goals early, the atmosphere can turn. But that's part of wearing the shirt. We've got to be able to deal with that. And we spoke before the game that if Germany were playing here, we'd probably look at the score at the end and go 4-0 or something like that, and everyone would go, yeah, of course, they've done a professional job. In the end, that's what we've done. It's taken a while to get the goals, but that's a consequence of dominating the game, over 70% possession. Yeah, you'd like to open them up a bit more, but there isn't space to play against them. They're a 5-4-1, there's very little space to play, and when we got the ball into the areas that we'd worked on during the week, we managed to do that. So I understand all of the reaction that we'll get, but we have to stay focused as a group, and Monday's game will be completely different.
Sorry, now you have to use the mic. Sorry guys, for the game.
Sorry. It's very rare, Gareth, and very unusual for England supporters to turn on their team in that way.
Well, I've seen it happen, so I'm not. From our point of view, we have to focus on sticking to the plan, staying calm. I understand why, and I understand if we don't score until late, the game feels different for everybody. But I've played in so many qualifiers and watched so many qualifiers, and I don't remember many of them being free-flowing champagne football. It just hasn't happened. So, especially when there's so little place or space to play, you've got to work your way into the opportunities. And as I say, I think I'm really pleased with what the players have done, because they've kept their focus, they've kept calm, they haven't taken on ridiculous shots from outside the box, which I've seen us do, which relieves the pressure, and in the end the build-up of pressure on the opposition mounts and you get your goals.
Can I just ask on another point, Gareth? I know you've been preparing for today's game, but have you had any contact with Wayne Rooney at all today?
No, I've been as you say, totally focused on preparing for today's match.
Can I just ask you about Harry Kane? I mean, obviously 2 goals, and he's so important. August is over, I guess. But his goal record is something. In the last few games.
Yeah. Look, I think it's been brilliant to look at the bench tonight and be able to bring on Marcus, Danny, Jamie Vardy. We've got Defoe and Sturridge on there, so we've got some real quality, and we've got people that can make an impact. And the bench in the modern game is crucial because, as I say, last 15-20 minutes are so important. That said, Harry throughout the game is always a threat. good header in the first 5 minutes, and he will score goals for us. He's proven that last 3 matches, 6 in 3, I think, or 5 in 3. It's a privilege that we've got him with us.
Gareth, what was your message at half time, given in the face of the supporters, and obviously it was frustrating half for you anyway?
Yeah, to stay calm. That when we were getting the balls into the areas of the pitch that we wanted to, and had highlighted through the week, that's where our opportunities were coming from. So we had to keep doing that. There were a couple of small tactical adjustments, but in the end we knew the build-up of pressure would result in goals if we stayed calm and kept going. And that's a challenge for a team, because the expectation is high, and the expectation is that you run away with the game. But 2 years ago, Italy were 0-0 after 70 minutes here and won it 1-0. They just very rarely get thumped, and we've scored 4. Okay, we haven't scored them as early as we'd have liked to, and I fully understand the reaction to that. But from a team perspective, we've done the job.
Do you think the mood in the stadium and that early miss affected Sterling? Was one of the factors that decided to bring him off?
Well, I think attacking players and players that dribble and are brave enough to take people on, there's always going to be times where that isn't going to quite work for them. And tonight I felt that was one of those nights for Ring. We knew that Marcus, coming on fresh with the opposition, were going to tire as the game went on. I don't like making a decision like that at half time, because having played again, you know how that feels. But I've got to make the right decision at the right time for the team, and I felt that was.
Pass the mic back to Paul Joyce.
Do you feel the disconnect with the fans is something that you inherited?
I genuinely don't think there is a disconnect with the fans. Our fans in Scotland were 100% with the team right the way through the game. There are some games that we go to around Europe where maybe the dynamic is a little bit different, but so be it. The important thing for me was we win the game. We still go over to the fans at the end, because we've got to recognise that we're representing everybody, and we move on to Monday now where we'll hopefully have 70,000 plus at Wembley.
Any further questions? Last one at the back.
Gareth, you dominated the play in the first half, but you finished 0-0, and apart from the header by Harry Kane, you didn't have that much of opportunities. And by 84th minute, you were still 1-0 up. Were you satisfied at the moment?
No, but I also know that the game is a difficult one for different circumstances, and you have to be patient and you have to wait for your opportunities, which we did. So, yeah, of course, we'll look at the game and try to do things improve in many areas, but the challenge of coming here is quite unique. So Monday's game will be completely different, and the spaces will be different, and the way that we'll be able to create chances will be a little bit different as well.
And what was your opinion about the Maltese performance?
Exactly what I expected. Very disciplined, very committed, well organised by the coach, difficult to break down. So they should be proud of the way they played.
Thank you very much.
Okay.